This franchise has always been about players, it's always been about basketball, and it's about anything we can do to help the player become the best they can be. This is really a huge example and an opportunity to show the rest of the league and the world and that's involved in women's sports what it takes to be a high-level athlete.
It's an unbelievable day for the Indiana Fever, another step for our franchise, again, to make this the best franchise in the world.
This franchise has always been about players, it's always been about basketball, and it's about anything we can do to help the player become the best they can be. This is really a huge example and an opportunity to show the rest of the league and the world. And that's involved in women's sports what it takes to be a high athlete. It's an unbelievable day for the Indiana Fever, another step for our franchise again to make this the best franchise in the world. The Indiana Fever just dropped a $78 million bombshell, but that's not even the biggest news of the day. While everyone's talking about their new state-of-the-art facility, we've got the inside scoop on a free agency move they just did that's shaking up the entire WNBA. So the Indiana Fever announced that they're going to open a new practice facility coming up before the 2027 season. But they're going to get their own facility now, and they showed the mock-ups online, and it's as you would expect, right? It's going to be state-of-the-art, it's going to be awesome, it's going to look cool. Caitlin Clark and the entire Fever roster has got a new FAC coming, but who might be joining them? We're breaking down the Fever's bold moves from their best-in-class training center to the superstar free agent they've just confirmed. Think you know what's next for Caitlin Clark and company? Stick around to find out why Indiana might just become the hottest destination in the WNBA. Are you ready? Let's go. As the CEO of Pacer Sports Entertainment, I couldn't be more excited for both our men's and our women's teams to have their own standalone practice facilities. I think it's expanding our campus in a great way. It's providing them everything they need to have the best performance that they can on the court. And I think it's absolutely the right time to do it. Picture this, a basketball paradise spanning 108,000 foot. That's exactly what the Indiana Fever just announced. But why now? What's the game plan behind this massive investment? Let's break it down. We're talking about a $78 million facility that's set to redefine what a WNBA team's home base looks like. This is almost twice the size of the biggest facility, whether current or planned, in the WNBA, and is bigger than some NBA teams' facilities. The Fever are making a statement, and it's loud and clear from all of the weight and conditioning equipment. Obviously, we'll have 2 full-size courts. It'll be available 247 for them to come and utilize it, but also just the best in recovery, the best in mental health, places for them to be able to also record content, podcasts, and other things that they may have to go off-site and waste time doing things like that, so they can really maximize their time spent focusing on their performance and not on other things. So what's inside this hoops heaven? 2 full-size courts for starters. But there's more strength training areas that would make pro bodybuilders jealous, recovery rooms, sauce, and infrared facilities that feel more like a spa than a sports facility. It's everything a player needs to perform at their peak. Here's where it gets really interesting: mental health facilities, a full-service kitchen, a podcast studio, and a nail salon. The Fever aren't just thinking about training, they're thinking about the whole player experience. This facility is designed to help athletes thrive on and off the court. Well, first of all, our goals for this new training center is really to provide a first-in-class training center that is designed exclusively for women athletes, and I think that's important to note because it's not just a gym, it's a holistic approach to how women athletes train, recover, rehab. This is going to be the best in class when it comes to a women's professional training facility. And not just the day that it opens, we are going to set this up and think about this as the best in class for many years to come. Now let's talk about timing. This palace is set to open its doors in 2027. There's some serious strategy at play here. 2027 is when Aaliyah Boston's rookie deal expires. Caitlin Clark's contract is up in 2028. The Fever are laying the groundwork for their future, sending a message to their stars and every free agent out there. This is where you want to be. Compare this to other teams. The Connecticut Sun are sharing their practice space with birthday parties and yoga classes. Alyssa Thomas of the Sun said, "We're a professional team, we're competing for playoffs, and yeah, to have to share your court with a 2-year-old birthday party, talk about a contrast." So when I played in the Connecticut Sun, we practiced in like the recreational, like the tribal facility, because the team is owned by the tribe, and so sometimes it'll be people doing like yoga classes, and wow, that's crazy and different stuff. And like we'll be on the court, like practicing on the full court, like the full doing right, and then they'll come in and we'll have to like put the divider down, and then we'll start going on a court that Was like smaller than like a high school court, kid you not, while we're in the playoffs. Keep it down, we got class going on over here, yeah. And it's like you peek your head over the side and it's like 3 people over there like going down dog or something crazy, right? You know, I'm saying the stars are taking notice. Caitlin Clark's fired up posting on Instagram got me fired up on this Thursday. Aaliyah Boston's already using it as a recruiting tool, telling potential free agents that Indiana is the place to be. She says the Fever does so well at pouring into us and making us feel like the professional athletes that we are. Even basketball legend Lisa Leslie is impressed, commenting, "This is what investing in women look like when you've got legends singing your praises. You know you're doing something right." As we look toward Indianapolis becoming the epicenter of women's sports, having professional women's sports teams and having dedicated training facilities for them is really a key piece of putting that together. This facility is more than just a building, it's a game changer that could shape the WNBA for years to come. The Fever are positioning themselves as the team every player wants to join, creating an environment where athletes can excel both on and off the court as free agency decisions loom in the coming years. This investment could be the deciding factor that attracts top talent and keeps stars like Boston and Clark and Indiana for the long haul. Now, are you ready for some major free agent news? So we finally got the news that we expected to hear all along for Kelsey Mitchell. We finally got the news, and it is that Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever has received the core designation. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been said by the Indiana Fever. Let's talk about the bombshell that just dropped in Indiana. The Fever have made a power move that's got everyone talking. They've CED Kelsey Mitchell. Now you might be wondering, what does that even mean? Well, in the WNBA, seeing a player is like putting a giant keep-away sign on them. It's a special designation that gives teams exclusive negotiating rights to a player during the free agency period. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's absolutely a star. The Fever just showed how much they value her by offering her a 1-year supermax contract worth almost $250,000. That's some serious cash. And it shows just how committed Indiana is to building a powerhouse team. If you're asking me to give a percentage chance of Kelsey Mitchell staying, I would go as far as to say 99. I go say as far as say 99, but here's where it gets interesting. Mitchell could still potentially leave the Fever, but only if the team agrees to a trade. If Mitchell really wanted out, which doesn't seem likely, the Fever could potentially get some serious assets in return. We're talking high draft picks, promising young players, or maybe even another established star. But why would Mitchell want to leave now? The Fever are building something special, and she's right at the center of it. Picture this: Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark in the same backcourt. That's a scoring explosion waiting to happen. As I've said, there's no reason why Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't want to play with the Fever, and we've basically seen the Fever posting about Kelsey Mitchell everywhere. So it's not like it's something that is unlikely, but it is going to be huge. And at this stage it's like, trust the process, it's trust the organization, because look, this organization has proven that they're willing to put the money back to generator. Bame Mitchell averaged 19.3 points per game last season. That's elite level scoring, folks. And she did it while playing alongside Clark and Boston, who drew a lot of defensive attention last year. In Clark and Mitchell, you've got two of the most lethal scorers in the game sharing the same court. Defenses are going to have nightmares trying to figure out how to stop them both. The Fever aren't just building a team, they're crafting a roster that could dominate for years to come. They've got 9 players already under contract for 2025, and they've still got around $650,000 in cap space. That's enough to pay Mitchell her super max salary and still have room to sign another max player and a key veteran. This is the smartest thing for you, and there's no way that and there's no agent in the world that would tell Kelsey Mitchell not to sign with Indiana. To be honest, there is no agent in the world that will tell any player not to sign. Indiana Mitchell's core designation is a rare move for the Fever. In fact, she's only the 5th player in the franchise's 25-year history to receive this honor. We're talking about a club that includes legends like Tama Catchings. That's the kind of company Mitchell is in now, and Mitchell, she's not taking this lightly. She's been vocal about her connection to Indianapolis, saying, "I've always seen Indianapolis as a home for me. Like, if you're asking me what team should Kelsey Mitchell play for, if she's like, in reality the answer is the